There is no amount of beating yourself up that will change what happened in the past. There is no amount of worry that will prevent you from failing. It's normal and it's okay and it's no big deal and it's no drama and it's fine and it's part of the process, right? The quicker you learn this, the quicker you're going to succeed at what you need to be doing. You can do absolutely anything that you set your mind to. This is the truth. I am bringing you the truth. You can do absolutely anything. The only thing that is holding you back from achieving your dreams and goals and from succeeding is your own mindset and your own ideas about how you're not good enough, how you're not worthy enough, how there's something wrong with you. All of these ideas about who you are going to hold you back from having what you want. We need to de-dramatize failure. It's not a big deal. If you see failure as a big deal, of course it's going to have a hold on you. But if you just see it as part of the process of learning a new skill, then it's just that. It is just a normal part of the process of you learning. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody failed in some sort of way. The most famous person you can look up to, they failed, they made mistakes, but they didn't let that hold them back because they knew that it was just a normal part of the learning process. Okay? When you're learning to drive a car, you will make mistakes. You will do things that are considered as wrong, but that's just you learning what not to do, so that then you can learn what to do and repeat the process of actually succeeding. Failure is normal and it's okay. And most of us, we are afraid of failure because we let it mean something about us. If I fail the math test, and I did fail math tests so many times in my life, and I attached my self-image to, I am a failure, I'm not good at math, then of course that's holding me back because my self-image is attached to the fact that I think that I am a failure because I failed the test. Okay? If you don't let it mean anything about you, then it won't hold any power over you. This is the trick. This is the secret. Failure and mistakes are important and are necessary in the process of you learning. If you didn't make mistakes, then how will you learn? Okay? So if you're afraid of making mistakes, if you have pressure and want to do everything perfect, that is holding you back from succeeding because you need to fail and it's okay. And the more you normalize failure, the better you will become, because it's not something that you need to identify yourself with. This is the mistake that we make, is identifying ourselves with, I am a failure because I failed this thing. But it's just temporarily as a fact, yes, I failed the math test, but that doesn't mean that I am a failure. Do you see what I mean? Like, do not attach your identity to a temporary thing that you can do better. Okay? If you think that you're a failure, well, you're holding yourself back. You're preparing for failure. You're not preparing for success. Okay? If you have a goal and you think you're a failure, guess what's going to happen? You're going to put pressure on yourself. You're going to want to make it perfect. You're not going to want to make any mistakes. And that whole pressure is going to prevent you and hold you back from actually achieving what you want. But if instead you relax and say, yes, okay, I made a mistake. Now I can learn from this and I won't do it again. Or I'm going to do this a different way. Then you just keep going. The thing is, you need to keep going. Do not give up. You need to keep going on whatever it is that you're doing, and do not pay attention to those mistakes and those failures more than just learning the lesson that is there for you. The thing is, you don't need to hold on to that pain and to that shame and to that failure anymore. You don't have to. The only thing that is necessary for you to do is to take the lesson out of it. For example, for me, it was failing math in school. I thought I was very bad at math. I thought numbers were not my thing. I'd rather write an essay in English or in any other language rather than doing math. That was my mindset. And so I failed every single test. And then I got a good grade and then I failed again because guess what? I limited myself. The perception that I had of myself was of someone who is bad at math and who is a failure with numbers. That's how I perceived myself. And so most of my life, I perceived myself like that. And so I also avoided situations that had to do with numbers and maths because it made me uncomfortable, because I thought I was a failure, because I thought I was slower than other people to understand, or that there was something wrong with me, or that I wasn't logical enough to do this. And what happened was that I got a job where I had to do math all the time. I didn't know at first that it was going to be that type of job, but when I got into it, it was a lot of calculations, a lot of math. And I took it as a challenge. I was like, this is the moment where I challenge my own beliefs about being a failure. This is the moment where I challenge myself to actually overcome that fear of failing at this thing. Because I can't. This is a job, you know? So I took that opportunity and said, even if it's going to be hard, even if I need to study a lot more than other people, I am going to do this because I am not going to let myself be held back by my own limiting beliefs that I can't do this. No more. So what happened at that job was the first few weeks I suffered. I didn't understand anything. I was trying very hard. I was concentrating and I was studying. I wanted to give up every single day. I swear to you, I wanted to give up. I went to the bathroom and cried. I couldn't do it anymore. And that moment is where I understood the thing is, I'm just holding myself back here. If I just relax and take off the pressure, take off the emotional charge that I am putting into the numbers and the math and myself as well succeeding, because it was a big deal for me. This was a huge deal, okay? And so what I gave up on was not the job itself and the goal, it was my resistance to it. Okay? And I didn't see failure as something that was the end. I saw it as, okay, I'm not going to repeat that anymore. I registered that this was something else, or I was wrong in here, so this must be right. And I started just seeing it as a neutral thing, much more than something that was very emotionally driven. I was driven by my emotions back then. I was like, oh my God, I'm such a failure. I can't do this. And well, if if you're having that mentality while you're doing something, obviously you're not going to succeed. So that was a huge lesson for me in the sense that I was failing every day. Every single day there was something going wrong. But every single day there was progress as well. And I chose to see the progress. I chose to see, okay, now I got better at this. Now I understand this more. Today I did really well. Tomorrow I'm going to do well as well, okay? And so I didn't let that mean anything about me. It just meant that I didn't know. But I can learn. And this is the mentality. You don't say that you can't do it. You say, I don't know if I can. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to find out if I can. And of course you can, because the only thing that is limiting you are your beliefs about who you are and what you can and can't do. Okay, so pay attention to those beliefs about what do you think that you're good at? What do you think that you're not good at? Is that true? Is that ultimately true? Perhaps in your childhood, back then in school, or your parents told you that you were a failure. Look and search for that memory. Is there a memory that you can actually pinpoint of when someone told you you're not good at this, you will never be successful? And so you went ahead and you accepted it as true. It's still there within you. You accepted something as true without questioning it. You didn't question it. So all the negative beliefs that you hold about yourself, you need to question them because they're not true, okay? You accepted them as true, and that's why you believe them, and that's why your reality seems to be consistent with those beliefs. Okay, your reality, what you experience, is always going to be consistent with your beliefs. So now I believe that I am good at math. I believe that I'm good with numbers. I believe that I can solve any problem. And guess what? I am okay. I can budget, I can do Excel files, I can do so many things that a few years ago were impossible for me to do. They were impossible because I got really nervous, I got really stressed out, I didn't understand anything, I had to do hours of research, I gave up. Now I can sit down and look at numbers as something neutral. I can figure this out. I can figure this out because I didn't give myself the opportunity back then to actually understand it my way, to actually do it my way. So this is the thing. Now that you are aware of this, you can go and question the belief that says, I can't do this. Why do you think you can't? Write it down. What's the reasons? Okay, because they must be very valid for you to believe in them. You might have evidence from that, from your past, because the thing is, as I said, your experience is always going to be a reflection of your beliefs. So of course you have some evidence that you failed this test, or you failed this thing, or you did this wrong. But if you rewrite that story and not let it mean anything about you, it's not going to have power over you anymore, and you can move on. You need to be moving on. Move on, move on, move on. Look forward, look forward. Failures are just made to be part of the process of learning, and they're made to be forgotten about. Okay, you can't have a goal or something in mind and then remind yourself all the time of, oh my God, I failed and I failed and I failed, and this is why I'm a failure, this is why I'm a failure, because you're not ever going to move on. You need to let that go, okay? You are the only one putting pressure on yourself. Honestly, you are. You are the one who accepted that idea as true and convinced yourself of it, and so now your reality is generating that experience for you. So the reframe that I want to show you in this video is that there is no failure, there's only feedback. There is no failure, there is only feedback. Failure only exists if you make it mean something about you. How do you think anyone can get anything done on this earth and can be successful without failing? Any athlete, any Formula 1 driver, any singer, any painter, any artist. We all make mistakes, and it's part of life, and there's nothing dramatic about it. There is nothing dramatic about it because it's not the end. It is just a moment where you learn and then you can move on. So learn from it and move on, forget about it, okay? Because what you want is not in the failure, it's in the future. What you want is not in the past, it's in the future, right? So take what you need to take from it. Forgive yourself, and move on. Do yourself a favor, forgive yourself and move on. There is no amount of beating yourself up that will change what happened in the past. There is no amount of worry that will prevent you from failing. It's normal and it's okay and it's no big deal and it's no drama and it's fine and it's part of the process, right? The quicker you learn this, the quicker you're going to succeed at what you need to be doing. If you see failure as something good and part of the process, then there's nothing holding you back, okay? You need to also look at the belief of being afraid of success, because most of us, when we are such perfectionists and want to do everything perfect, and I'm going all in or I'm not going to do it at all, that kind of mentality that's just black or white, that is just also you being afraid of succeeding, and you're putting all these impossible expectations and milestones in front of you because you're afraid of success. You need to simplify things, and you need to make sure that you do not attach yourself and your identity to the failures, to the mistakes, and that you keep looking forward, keep moving on. Progress over perfection. We're here to see progress. 1% progress is much better than nothing. 1% progress every day. You need to strive for progress, not for perfection, because perfection is going to put an enormous amount of pressure on yourself to achieve the things, and so you're not gonna do it. You're gonna give up midway. Another reframe for failure is practice. Call it practice. Do not call it failure anymore. You call it practice. And that's just going to make it easier for you to move on from that. It's just practice. There is nothing to be ashamed of, because the emotion of shame and guilt, it's a very low vibration that keeps you trapped into that. And when you have shame and guilt and you hold on to that, you lose confidence. And when you lose confidence, you want to protect yourself at all costs from the thing that caused you that shame and that guilt in the first place, and you start avoiding doing things that will bring you a similar feeling. But this is a waste of your precious time on earth. Do not hold on to the shame and the guilt. It's past. Move on, okay? Learn what you need to learn from that. And forgive yourself. Really, truly forgive yourself. If you're okay with your mistakes, if you accept your mistakes, there's nothing holding you back. And if other people point at that, it's none of your business, because you have accepted it and you have moved on from it, and your failures do not define you. Your mistakes do not define you. You are defined by who you are as a person, by your values, by who do you strive to be every single day, okay? So do not let yourself be defined by the things that didn't work out. Keep learning, keep going. Absolutely do not, under any circumstance, give up. No, it's not a choice. Failure is only practice. And keep doing what you need to do, okay? You will succeed. This is a reframe. There is no failure anymore. It doesn't exist. If you don't give it meaning, it doesn't exist. Discard it from your system, okay? If you want to go deeper into this process of looking at your failures and figuring out what you need to learn from them, forgiving yourself, moving past them, if you want to go deeper into all of that, I offer coaching sessions that are personalized to your own specific case. So I can help you, I can support you in this process of reframing what failure means to you so that you can have and see the success that you want. And if you're interested, I will put a link down below for you to apply for coaching. Thank you for watching this video. I hope that you liked it. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one.